Stoicism is a philosophy of personal ethics informed by its system of logic and its views on the natural world. According to its teachings, as social beings, the path to happiness for humans is found in accepting the moment as it presents itself, by not allowing oneself to be controlled by the desire for pleasure or fear of pain, by using one's mind to understand the world and to do one's part in nature's plan, and by working together and treating others fairly and justly. But how can we become more stoic? Some things, such as world events and natural disasters, are beyond your control, and there's no use beating yourself up about something you cannot change. Focus instead on things you can change, like your own choices and judgments. Think of a tennis game. You can't control things like the skill of your opponent, the referee's calls, or how random wind gusts might affect the ball. On the other hand, you can decide how much you practice before the game, to show up well rested and not to stay up all night partying before the match. Work on having more self-control and self-awareness. Being stoic doesn't have anything to do with just not talking. It's more important to think before you speak, whether you're interested in philosophical stoicism or want to be stoic in the dictionary sense. For example, if someone insults you, don't just blurt out an angry insult back at them. Don't engage them in an emotional fight, but consider if there's any truth to their statement and reflect on how you could better yourself. If you feel yourself getting upset and can't focus on the situation's facts, try to visualize pleasant surroundings, sing a song in your head, or say a stoic mantra to yourself, such as, "If it's not in my control, it's none of my concern." There's nothing wrong with talking to people. Just try not to ramble nervously and meaninglessly. You can't control other people, so there's no reason to be nervous. You also shouldn't feel like you have to conform to other people's standards, especially if it means compromising your own morals. Try to learn at every opportunity, but don't be a know-it-all. You can't learn if you think you already know everything. Wisdom is a core Stoic virtue, and part of cultivating wisdom is admitting that you have a lot to learn. Educate yourself whenever you can, by reading books, listening to podcasts, and watching documentaries. A true Stoic isn't interested in emotional conflicts, retribution, revenge, or holding grudges. But that doesn't mean that you have to be a cold, distant, isolated grouch. If someone wrongs you, you can still have sympathy for them even if you don't engage them in an emotional conflict. For example, if someone you care about lashes out at you, don't just give them the cold shoulder. You could say, "I don't think it's wise to just toss insults back and forth. Let's take some time to cool down so we can deal with this situation rationally." Don't get mad, get even is not at all Stoic, so never try to get revenge. If you're a manager in charge of reprimanding an employee, think of a fair way to hold them accountable instead of blindly punishing them. Your time is precious, so try not to waste time on mindless distractions. It might be tough in today's hectic world, but concentrate on what you're doing when you're performing a task or action. Even if you're just sitting by yourself or talking with a friend, focus on the moment instead of checking your phone every 10 seconds. In addition, try not to dwell on distractions like world news, current events, and catastrophes. It's one thing to be informed about global events, but you don't want to stress or panic about things you can't control. You don't have to be a stone-faced monk to exhibit self-control and focus on the here and now. You can still enjoy entertainment, life's pleasures, and nature's beauty. For example, when handed a glass of fine wine, a Stoic person might sip it and contemplate, what if this is the last glass of wine I'll ever have? The point isn't that they are thinking about doom and gloom, but that they are appreciating this singular moment of enjoyment. Look at life's big challenges as opportunities to become a wiser and stronger person. When it comes to the little annoyances, from spilled milk to losing $5, just try to keep calm and carry on. Your peace of mind is worth more than stressing over something of little value. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "A bit of spilled oil, a little stolen wine, repeat to yourself, for such a small price I buy tranquility." Being Stoic doesn't mean you should isolate yourself from others. However, you should try to spend your precious time with people who want to be wiser, make better decisions, and make you want to be a better person. You don't want to be a snobby elitist, but think about your friends and acquaintances. Do they hold you accountable for your actions, encourage you to learn, and motivate you to improve yourself? Is there anyone who's petty, judgmental, opportunistic, or vicious? The strength of your character is far more important than wealth, awards, or acclaim. Make decisions based on your moral principles instead of doing something unethical that improves your status. For example, don't help someone because you want a reward or praise. Help them because it's the right thing to do, and don't brag about it or seek attention. Suppose lying about a coworker would help you land a promotion. A true Stoic wouldn't do something unethical just to get a raise. The Iroquois Circle is a Stoic visualization exercise that helps you reflect on how you fit into the grand scheme of things. Start by visualizing yourself, then imagine your family and friends in a circle around you. Visualize your acquaintances, neighbors, and co-workers in the next circle, your city in the next, and eventually all of humanity, all of nature, and all of existence. Take about 10 minutes to do the exercise. If it helps you focus, sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths. The point is to appreciate that things are interconnected. You're a part of a human community and ultimately linked to the entire universe. A premeditatio malorum is a Stoic meditation in which you imagine losing something that is very important to you, like a job or a loved one. Picture a negative scenario in your head just for a few seconds or so. It sounds disturbing, but the point is to accept impermanence, prepare for obstacles, reflect on the good things in your life, and overcome your fears. Negative visualization can help you build psychological resilience in the face of uncontrollable obstacles. That means when something bad happens, you might have an easier time coping if you've already imagined it. Each day, look up a short quote by a Stoic philosopher. Say it multiple times to yourself and contemplate its meaning. Even if it was written over 2000 years ago, think about how you could apply its meaning to your own life. You can look online for quotes by thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The internet is a great place to look for philosophers' quotes and further reading. At the end of the day, write about the challenges you faced and decisions you made. Contemplate a bad habit you made an effort to improve. Reflect on how you could have made a better choice or handled the situation differently. Next time a similar situation comes up, your reflections will be present with you, and you will act upon them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video helps you to understand how you can become more stoic and apply the philosophy to your life. Stay motivated, stay valorous.